lost when I feel like nothing. Always feel like I'm running. Both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 no. You should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh no, no, no. Oh please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw you coming. You were so wild, but no, I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this Friday. We made it another week. Hello, hello. Today is October 20th, 2023. It is 8:02 p.m. on the East Coast. It's good to see you all in chat. Thank you for joining me. I wasn't sure I was going to make it this evening, but I did. And we're here. Hi. It's good to see you all. So we are going over the Summer Wells case, and I really believe that most of the clues are from the beginning, and we have learned quite a bit going over some of the older interviews, the beginning of the interviews. Thank you all for the kind words. Very sweet. And I was reading an article on my lunch break today, and I thought, well, isn't that interesting? And I thought I could share it with you, and we could go over some questions and all of that. Also, I found a budget meeting for the TBI, and they mention the new drones that they used, a little bit about what they do. It's a couple minutes long. The volume is a little low though. Um, so you may have to turn your volume up a little high on that when we watch it. But it just goes to show you the woods that they have looked at, so much that they have done in order to find Summer Wells. I mean, it will even look for a specific color. So I thought that was a little bit interesting as well. But I wanted to go, there's not, Dawn is the one that generally talks for the Wells family. And Candace doesn't do a lot of the talking. Really, she talked a little bit in the very beginning of when Summer went missing. She did some interviews here and there, but she's not been the one that does most of the talking. And there is one, and it's in print, and she said something, and I quoted it here on my live, and here in the car where it's hot, it was baking hot on June 15th. That's her words, not mine. Now, it was supposed to be like 75, 77 degrees. Sometimes it'll get a little hotter locally, or it'll just be hotter than what they say, a few degrees hotter. But I thought it was interesting because she said it, her words. And if it was baking hot, why are you dressing a 5-year-old in, you know, fall-like clothes? 80 plus on record, Mike says. So, I mean, it's literally the middle of June in Tennessee, and we know how the weather gets in Tennessee during the summer time. And let's review this. Okay, and this is by the Rogersville Review. Everything that I show you guys this evening for the replay and for you, if you want to read this for yourself, it is in the description. My sources are in the description. All right. Uh, all right. Thank you so much. All right, guys, if y'all haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, I would really appreciate that. It's how it gets the word out. It's very, very important. If you don't mind, I really do appreciate it. All right, so this was June, updated June 13th, 2022, and June 20th, 2023. However, June 15th of the morning, this is Candace's account of what happened that day. This is her review in print. On the morning of June 15th, 2021, Candy Summer Wells's grandmother needed to go to the doctor about her aching knee. Candace Candy's full name is Candace, just like Summer's mother, Candace Wells. So Candace told the review that the day began at Kingsport Holston Valley ER. So that is one thing that, she said that they went to the ER. Not, this isn't an appointment. You obviously do not make an appointment if you go to the ER. Remember, this is the time where the pandemic, the virus was going around, and they really only wanted you to go there for true emergencies. So that's interesting as well. After dropping Candy off at the ER, Candace and Summer went to visit some family friends in Kingsport. When Candy called to pick her up, the family friend, 15-year-old son, asked to go along. Now, this is the part, y'all really can't see it, can you? Let me see if that makes it any better. Not really. Not really. Okay, that's better. So this is in quotes. These are in quotes, so verbatim. I went and picked her up, and then we drove all the way across town and dropped her prescription off. Candace told the review, quote, they take They said it'd be about 30 minutes at the most. So we were like, well, instead of sitting here in the car where it's hot, it was baking hot. Her words. We'll just go to Warriors and let Summer swim for a little while. Like I said, we weren't even planning on going swimming or fishing or anything. Now, a few things to that. Instead of sitting in that car waiting for the prescription, they'll just go swimming because they don't want to sit in the sun where it's, quote, baking hot. Now, could something have, y- she didn't want to sit in the baking heat, but she allowed Summer and H to sit in a baking hot car while they went in the grocery store. Now, as we know, too many, particularly children, die of, heat related being left in the car, heat strokes, all of that. I am not saying that's what happened to her, but I am saying that it sounds like it could be a possibility because of what she said. Another thing that's interesting that we have talked about recently, and she says it right here. She said that just because they had to wait, you know, they would go swimming. And like I've always said, that's exactly where we're getting to. Where are you from? Did they go swimming because of the prescription? Or did they go swimming? Did they plan on going swimming? Because we hear three different stories, and only one can be true. One is that they decided to go swimming because of the prescription took 30 minutes. I personally don't think that one is the right one. I think it was convenient that they left that hospital, and Candace says it here in quotes that they went all the way across town to the pharmacy. Well, there is a lot of pharmacies before that Walgreens. In fact, there's a Walgreens, from what I understand, inside the hospital. So why would you go across town to this specific pharmacy? And I personally believe because it's at a four-way intersection, and on the other side of the intersection is the watering hole, the park, the horse pond, whatever you want to call it. Now, the second thing is they say that they planned on going fishing first. Once they picked up Hunter's words, once they picked up the grandmother, they changed it to swimming. I don't understand any of that. It doesn't make sense to me why, Grandis, they would change it to swimming. Because to me, I mean, if Grandis, which I don't think she would want to do anything after being at the ER, since 8 o'clock that morning, but I digress. She says, or H says they change it. H also says that they plan that at his house. That's the second story. He says that Candace changes Summer at his house. Then there's Candace's account at the watering hole with Chris McDonough from the interview room. She says that she puts a bathing suit on Summer before they left that morning. They left at 7:30 in the morning. She tells him in that same interview that they were at Holston Valley Medical Hospital by 8. Now, if you are already in a bathing suit, you put your daughter in a bathing suit at 7:30 in the morning, and then you put clothes over that. She said it was because, it was hot, and she put a bathing suit under it. To me, I feel like you had already pre-planned the swimming trip. Now, H says he was up the night before almost all night. If he was up all night, did him and Candace make some type of plans? Hey, I'm going to have my mom at the ER early in the morning. You want to hang out? Otherwise, because Candace disputes that she changed Summer at uh, H's house, Allie's house. She says she put that bathing suit on Summer of the morning. So in my mind, it definitely, why are you putting a bathing suit on your kid at 7:30 in the morning if you have no plans on going swimming till, you're planning, they said, going on to a water park later on that day, which never happened. And I don't think it was ever going to happen because Candace didn't get home till about 3:14 that afternoon. So there's that. And if we look at this timeline, let me see if I can find it here. All right. Maybe? Okay. And if we look at this timeline, at 12:21 is when the TikTok video is taken. They are at Warriors Park. The video is taken at 12:21. They're there approximately 20 or 30 minutes according to them. And then they go the Hippie House, Walgreens, and then Sonic. Then they go to Priceless, and that is where the big discrepancy starts between H and Candace. And H says they were in there for an hour at least. Candace says that they are in there maybe 5 minutes. Now, who do you believe? Well, they got a few gallons of milk. She said they got cheese, but they also say that they needed enough help for the boys to come out and get the groceries, them sort it out, and then take it over to their grandmother's. So I don't think it's 5 minutes. I don't even think Candace could get in there and walk around the store or even wheel herself around the store for 5 minutes in Priceless. Now, this is where I wonder if something didn't happen at the horse pond. We do know that H said he got spooked that Summer went underwater. She might have slid on a rock or something. Candace uh, says that never ever happened, but H says it was enough for him, which he is a teenager, and to run into the water. She was under there approximately 10 to 15 seconds. Could have been longer. That is what he says on the interview room interview. Marlena Grandis was never at the watering hole, in my opinion. Emma has a video on that she made a couple days ago. I've never felt she went there since her news interview. I wonder the same. I do wonder the same as well. But the thing is, if she wasn't at the watering hole, did Grandis get out? When did Grandis get out? Did they go pick up Grandis before they went to Priceless? Was she still in the hospital that many hours? Which would have been from approximately 8 a.m. till 2:30 ish. And what? Let's see here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That would have been like 6.5 hours, which is very easy to do in an emergency room. It's very easy to do in an emergency room. Now, but the problem is, see, I used to not think Grandis went to the horse pond, but now if she didn't stay at the pharmacy, which there's no indication that she did, they say that they never went inside, none of them, then did she just sit up at the truck the entire time? Because you don't see Grandis on camera at all during the video time. The only people you see in that video is Candace, H, and Summer. So, you know, during the probabilities of Occam's razor kind of theory, what is the most likely thing to have happened that we know that happened during that day? Well, two things that we know that could have very well happened, that happens to many children. Uh, one being the second highest uh, cause for unaliving, children dying, and that is drowning. And another one is being left in a car, overheating. Uh, there's that as well. You've wondered that. I've been to and only stay there for 2 hours. Uh, yeah, I mean, I've been to an ER where I've stayed, hardly any time, and then I've been to the ER where you're there 10 hours. Where is Summer seen swimming in her clothes if she had a swimsuit on underneath? She's not seen swimming in her clothes. I may have it here. Let me see here. Okay, which here, let me show you this. This is what Summer was swimming in on June 15th, 2021. I don't know. People keep saying they keep getting those fucking ads. My first guess was that she left her in her car and the heat got to her. You see, I feel like two things could have been possible. She could have left her in the car at the grocery store, and then she could have been, fine. But then she went home, they dropped off H, and then she went home, and then 5 minutes went by, or 5 minutes before they arrived, they took that picture. They took that video. That was at 3:09 p.m. Candace said they're 5 minutes away from home. But, she could have, since she had just went to sleep, she could have just left Summer in that car. However, I think it's too convenient that she took that picture and that video and she's 5 minutes from home, and which she would, if it was 3:09 and she was 5 minutes away from home, she would have gotten there at 3:14 p.m. And just 16 minutes later, that is when Dawn's, Candace's, and Grandis's phone, all three of them, go blank. Justin, was the exchange place in was that the exchange place? I don't know. I really don't know. But this is what Candace, or Summer rather, was wearing that day on June 14th. Photoshop theory. I don't know what I don't even. So this is the video. This is screenshots from that video that Summer was in. And, she doesn't look very far out there. And it's already up to, her chest. It looks like, you know what I mean? But she's walking out there and you can just see her walking out. So this is the bathing suit that she wore, and Candace says she put that on her. Phones going blank is guilty link for all three. Just for that, they should arrest them. I think it's highly interesting that 16 minutes later, after the very last photo of Summer Moon Utah Wells, I'll show it to you. Hold on, let me find it. Might be this way. Hold on. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? Even better. This is what I'm going to do. This link is in the description. And the credit goes to Evil Exist. Love Evil Exist. This is a slow motion, and it is by far the best slow motion video of Summer in the back truck. Because you know how it just is a second, a quick second? This is 15 minutes long of that quick second. It is so slow. I didn't even know you could go that slow. This is by far the best video. And and it moves so slowly. It's on right now. And you can just see in the milk video, see tats on her fingers aren't visible. C tats. I don't know what a C tat is. But this is the actual video. And it is 16 minutes and 16 and 16 minutes, almost 17 minutes long. 16 minutes 40 seconds. And it slowly, no, she does not move in this. She doesn't move. So Grandis would have taken that photo because Candace was driving then, right? That is correct. That is correct. Nothing gets related like the kinds of conversations they had that day. Personally, having watched the TikTok. Yeah. I wonder what the ER weight was that day. I think someone checked the ER weight that day. But as you can see, it moves so slow. But this is what I find interesting is right here. That blurry spot. You can see everything with Candace. To me, it doesn't feel like a natural conversation. It doesn't sound like a natural conversation, in my opinion. She's like, "Oh, did you get?" What did she say? Did she move? How does she say it? Did you get that photo, or did she move her head or something? And she's like, no. And she's like, ow. Yes, the mirror. Now they are supposedly, I forgot what road they were on. Well, I mean, she's got, let's see here. See there, you can see the mirror there. And we can, we can it is the best slow motion ever. This is where they flip it around again. Let's see if to me, you know something? Hold on. In this video, her lips, like in that photo that I seen, but I'm just now noticing this, her lips look discolored. I don't know if it's because this is slowly, something to do with the software or something. Her mouth is not open, but around her lips, I don't know if it's just a shadow there, but it looks a little, almost looks like lip liner. Um, that's a good question. Let's see here. Let me see if I can speed it up to see if I can speed it up to 2 times, which still won't be fast. But let's see if we can see if there's any. Hold on. Let me move it back here. It's so tough to see if she's breathing. I That's a good question. Sorry, I was mesmerized. I'm just trying to zoom in. Uh yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's just the color, if it's something to do with the slow motion, but it it looks almost like she's in this video, but it could be where it's such slow motion. See how it's starting to move, and this is sped 2 times up. Evil Exist did a great job on this. Lips from the slushy would be around the edges. Wait, yes, but on the photo, it doesn't look like that at all. See, this is sped 2 times up as well. I do recommend y'all going to Evil Exist and looking at this for yourself because it is quite interesting to just look at. I mean, I even take screenshots and I'll flip it so you can get a different angle, which is very interesting. Yeah, watch the mirror. There's a. there's a couple times in here where there's a couple good frames of the mirror. I mean, it's impressive how, like, I didn't even know you could slow something down like this. So, yeah. So I want to show y'all. Let me see. So let's see here. All right. 2 different days. No, I don't think it's 2 different days at all. I do believe it's the watering hole, and that happened the same day personally. All right, now, so we got Candace saying that they waited 30 minutes, and because they didn't want to sit in the car where it's hot, it was baking hot, we'll just go to Warriors and let Summer swim, which I believe it wasn't because of the prescription, which we talked about earlier. It says the three swam in the cove just south of the park's horse stables, and it was here that one of the last videos of Summer was shot. The videos has been subject to much internet speculation and conspiracies alleging that Summer went underwater and the boy dove in to save her. However, Candace told the review that that did not happen. Quote, the boy lied on everything that happened, Candace said. Quote, because the place I was at, there was no rocks. She didn't slide on no rocks and fall in the water. She wasn't under the water for 20 seconds or more, like he said. That is just a bunch of lies he made up. I don't know why he did that. But I will say that I personally believe H more than I do Candace. And the reason is because we have already caught her for sure in a lie that she was doing with Chris McDonough, saying that about the alcohol, that she did not give H at the alcohol or any vapes, that if her mom was there with the interview with her, she would tell you, and that's the God's honest truth coming from Candace. She said that. So we know Candace lies, right? It's no secret, but that's one thing that we know for sure, that H got alcohol by Candace and Candace is lying. So Candace is disputing this though. In the video, Summer is seen splashing in the lake, then stands up to reveal it's only waist deep. Next, the three drove back across town, picked up the prescriptions, and stopped briefly at Priceless. You can tell this is Candace's interview because she says briefly. Now, H disputes that. He says it was minimum an hour. So I always kind of, try to go in the middle, and I'm going to say 30 minutes, which is really, really, if it's, what's the words she used, baking hot outside, and they didn't want to sit in the car. Well, I'm sure Summer and H didn't want to sit in the car either. I almost wonder sometimes if Summer was asleep and they all three went into, you know, the store, but I don't think that happened either, but I just wonder. I don't think it happened like that. Still, nonetheless, it makes you wonder. 5 minutes of groceries is a massive lie from Candace because they got enough to put the groceries in the back. It couldn't all fit in the front. And it was enough for them to call the boys out and take it in and then separate it and then take it to Grandis's. So there's that. All right. But Candace is saying that he lied here. All right. Candace then dropped the boy off at the friend's house. Okay. Meaning their friend's house. Okay. Late afternoon, Candace says this. Once Candy, and Summer arrived back in Beach Creek, Candy suggested that the three plant some flowers next to Candy's camper. That should be a hashtag. Candy's camper. It's like Malibu bar, even Candy's camper. No Way Priceless was briefly with a gimpy Grandis. Yeah. Yes. Gimpy Grandis and Candy's camper. I'm sorry. I gotta find humor where I can, y'all. Okay. Summer helped. Sorry. Wait, I think I messed up something. Once Candace, Candy, and Summer arrived back home in Beach Creek, Candy suggested that the three plant some flowers next to Candy's camper. The camper was within walking distance to Candace's home where Summer lived. Summer helped plant flowers and place rocks in the flower bed. She, meaning Summer, told me she wanted to go back over with her brothers. So I literally walked her halfway between the camper and the house. Candy told the review, quote, I watched her go in the door and I could see her brothers at the kitchen table. When she went in, I walked over and yelled at the boys. I said, watch Summer. I'll be right back. I've got to fix Mom's knee brace. I was standing right there at the camper. I was over there fixing it. Literally, you could see my house from the camper door. She did not walk back out of the front door. Candace estimated that it took, quote, maybe 2 to 5 minutes to fix Mom's knee brace. When I got done, I come back in. She said, I asked the boys, where's your sister? They said she went downstairs to play with her toys, Mom. I said, okay. And I went and hollered down the steps. I always holler for her down there, and she didn't holler back. I said, are you sure she's down there? They said, yeah, she just went down there. I don't believe the story. I don't believe the story at all. So everything at the home so far is the exact same as she's always, the script has said. The one thing from this article that that's more shocking to us is where she talks about, oh, it was baking hot and we didn't want to sit in the car. Okay. So then she said, so I went down there, I searched, I looked everywhere I could. Then I went through the house. I kept calling for her, yelling for her, everything. I came out here outside yelling for her, everything else, and she was nowhere. So I called Dawn because I was freaking out. Around 6:30 p.m. Candy told the review that Dawn suggested she call 911 when she came in around 6:30. Before the cops even came, I went down and told my neighbors Summer is missing. Will you help me look? Before the cops came out, I went down and told my neighbors Summer is missing. Will you help me look? Just in case she did wander off. But I knew in the back of my mind she's never wandered off. She never went nowhere without me. She'll ask me to do something before she even goes and does it, and that she's scared to go in the woods by herself because we've told her time and time again that there's bears and snakes. So everything is the same. She said she sent her sons around the property to search and began to drive around the area searching before the police arrived. Now, okay. Now I want to show y'all something else. I want to show y'all an interview, but I want to show you guys that director thing too. Where was that? So last night we were doing that interview, and Don was saying that they tore apart his trucks. They even tore apart his trucks. If you was here last night, then you'll remember that. If you weren't here last night, then you probably want to go to last night's video and watch that full interview. But Don says in one interview that they tore apart his trucks, which was interesting because, there's a lot of discrepancy whether he was at work all day or not. I don't think he was, personally, in my opinion. Fred says he sees him and the boys that morning. There is text messages from Candace out there, and other means and all that. So let me show y'all something. All right. So was thinking about today. If Don's alibi checked out, why are they tearing apart his dash, and his other trucks? He said trucks, plural. Why are they tearing it apart? Now remember, Don said they have went countless times to his property, tore the house apart, all of that, right? Now, can you show Milk video in its entirety? Candy, it's 16 minutes long and it moves so slowly, but the link is in the description. It is from Evil Exist, and that link is in the description. It's very, very slow. So the question is, what made Don's trucks so specific to the search team to search them rather? What gave TBI, Hawkins County, probable cause for them to search? You have to have probable cause to get a search warrant, right? If they believed, in my opinion, if they believed Don's alibi, right, that he had the Subaru and he was fully at work when he said he was all day, well, that should have cleared him right up. It should have cleared him right up. They would have taken the software, the phones, all of the information, and it would have showed that he was at work from, left at 6:30 or 7 in the morning. He says his words. Could investigators see Don on camera somewhere? Traffic lights, potentially. Interstate cameras. Business cameras. Home cameras. There's multiple accounts. Don was at home on June 15, 2021. One is Candace texted Jenna, told Jenna. Candace told someone via text message. Fred and Laura said they seen Don and the boys in the morning. Maybe they said they seen him in the afternoon as well. I can't remember that. Don's alibi simply doesn't make sense. Don has slipped many, many times. Many times. And I can show y'all some of those as well. Let me. This was recently on Ben Hill Road. Let me just show you. This was in the last 3 weeks, I think. Maybe a month. It's not even been a month, I don't think. On Ben Hill Road. Does that look like? Hold on one second. Does that look like some place where some random abductor that could really go anywhere? And yeah, I'll show that to you. Here you go. These are some of Don's slips up. This is LTL. Link is in description. Don slip ups.
Was that? Like how far in between calls between you and her having that call when she's picking up prescriptions to she's calling you saying Summer's missing? Do you know how long?
Yeah, I honestly can't say, but I remember. Only thing that I can remember, it was thinking, well, I might as well just work late because they're busy doing other things, and there's no point in me going home because I don't want to go home and sit there by myself. So,
First of all, it wasn't late. When he called, they were in. It was 11:30. They were in the drive-through at Walgreens. If you're in the Walgreens drive-through at 11:30, you're not working late. You haven't even had lunch yet. And his boys are supposed to be at home.
I figured I'd just worked late that day.
This is why Don's timeline doesn't work.
And why did Don call?
I have no idea. He just called. I don't even know if he was working at the time.
Okay.
But if he was working, he obviously wouldn't know that there was some dude looking at the little kid.
That's the second thing is, you know, Candace and Don vehemently deny that Don said this when they was in the drive-through. I believe H. I don't think this is something that he would make up. And H says, I don't know where Don was. You know, when he called, I don't know if he was at work or not, but he said someone is up on the hill trying to, you know, do something to the little kids. How would Don know? How would he know? He would have to be there.
There's, well, everyone knows you called your wife. Could you kind of give us a little details about that? Do you kind of remember, was it morning, afternoon, later afternoon when you called her? Do you remember how that conversation went at all? Because Hunter's saying you called about, two people touching children or whatever. So could you kind of tell us if you remember what time the call was and how that conversation went?
Well, the only thing I know is, I call her from time to time just to see what she's doing, and she said that she's taking care of some prescriptions or whatever. It seemed to me that it was later than that, but because I made up my mind, well, they're busy doing this and whatever, I might as well just stay late at work. So I was working late.
Hey, Don.
It was not later than that. It was 11:30. I wonder, to be honest with you, if Don got jealous, H being there with her.
Your wife messaged me and said that you was at home in a 3 o'clock hour, and I have that as evidence. She did not want nobody to know you was at home.
That's not true.
Well,
After she messaged you.
You see how long of a pause Don had to wait? He had to think. And he says, that's not true. Now, remember, if Don is at home at 3 o'clock, that means Candace is home by 3:14. 3:14. At 3:30, all three phones delete. According to Don. All three phones. 16 minutes later, if Don is there at 3 o'clock, Candace, Grandis, Summer get home by 3:14 because it's 3:09 when they take the last photo of Summer. They're 5 minutes away. That's a problem.
That if that's not the case.
Do you have?
I mean, why would she say something?
Precisely, and that's what.
Plant Diva, I think that is a very important statement. Supposedly, Don slept a few times, trying to make it look like he was not living at 110. Why would Don want it not look like he was living at 110? And I'll tell you the reason is because many times CPS, for whatever reason, if they believe one of the parents are a problem, rather than taking the kids, they will make that parent exit, and they won't take, they'll They won't take the kids. It happens all the time. I really believe after everything comes out, I really believe it's going to boil down to CPS or something happened in a car or that trip that day. Either something happened at the watering hole, she was left in the car, or CPS. Many times they will make one of the parents exit while they are in what they call investigating the claim. So they would have made, they could have made Don exit while they were investigating. But Dudley talks about this as well. So that's a thank you for mentioning that. I think that's important in this.
But so they was at the lake, and then Hunter
Listen to this.
and his, I guess they went. She called and says, "Come by the house," and then she begged to take Hunter to the lake with them so they could swim a little bit. And seen them videos, and then I took her back and they said everything was okay in that situation between now.
Yeah. Which situation?
Sir.
Which situation, sir?
Don calls. This is another place where Don says there is a situation. The volume is low. You got to turn it up. The volume is low on this one. There is a situation. What is the situation? He has said that there was a situation. As far as the public knows, Don, Candace, all of them have never said that there was a situation that ever happened at the watering hole. Yeah. He said, sir, they caught him. Why the orange lips? He was probably had some lipstick on. You go, Don.
This is all our property here to the left. All this, our house is up there on top. So all this is our property. So I turn straight away in here.
Thank you so much, Mary Jane, my love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate you. And thank you for your membership, being a member as well. Very kind of you. And Avi, I miss you. By the way, thank you for the candy camper is on everyone's wish list. That's funny. But here he says, what does he say? We pulled, I pulled, we turned, I turned.
House is up there on top. So all this is our property. So I turn straight away in here. There was never somebody that just disappeared without a clue that I know of. I'm sure it happens, but not that I've ever seen in my life.
Well, when there's an abduction, I mean, what else would you call it?
Yeah.
Disappearing. I don't understand that. But yeah, somebody was either hiding in the weeds there, waiting for the shade, either come in the basement. But yeah, I mean, we weren't 30 feet. They weren't 30 feet away when she got gone. Yeah. I mean, maybe 40 at the most. Right. I don't know.
Saw that night. How well do you know him? And do you know why he was out there around your boys?
Yeah, a lot of our neighbors heard, us screaming Summer's name, and so I think I don't know, I don't know for sure because I wasn't there, but
See, Don catches himself really quickly. He's good at it. He's good at it. Not that good, but he is good at it. Realizing what he said. A lot of the neighbors heard us screaming. I don't know for sure because I wasn't there. Realizing what he said. Right.
I've known him for years.
Well, I'm gonna end this show, but I mean, if you've
All
said
right,
everything,
Listen to
I'm
this
not
one.
looking
This
into
one's
the
crazy.
church people to make you angry. I'm looking into the church people because they were some of the last people around your daughter, Donald.
No, they weren't around her at all. They was at our house, and nobody was here but me. I wasn't here.
So when Robin tells Chris McDonough in that
No, they weren't, Cher. Nobody was here but me, comma, I wasn't here. Donnie boy. Where? Yeah. Yeah, he lies like a rug. He certainly does. He's a quick one. He's a quick one. He says it. These are just different. I thought they were screaming for about a few minutes because there was no more screaming after cops came. Yep. Yep. I didn't want to go home and sit by myself. Well, you wouldn't be sitting by yourself because your boys was supposed to be home. And I'll add to that as well. He called at 11:30 in the morning. See, he thought it was later. He's thinking it's later in the day when they was there because he actually, in my opinion, wasn't at work. He's thinking it's later in the day, but he screwed himself right there by saying that. Hunter is confused. He thinks Dawn is home in this interview. And by what he was told and by the phone call, saying someone was up there at the house. This is why Dawn personally has always been my number one suspect. In my opinion, Candace may not have even known until later. She may have. I don't know. None of us know at the end of the day. But then you've got a call that Don B put out, and it says, Candace is saying, I've saved Don's butt many times. Candace messaged Jenna saying Don was home. Don saying, I took her back. And I believe. It's very interesting because remember, Don went to that shed first. He went to that shed first. Why did he go to that shed first? And he says, I took her back. when he was right at that shed. I took her back while he was at that shed, while he was pulling in there. What happened potentially in that shed? Why go there? You was either going there to check something or to get your shit together before you go up on that hill. We turned here. Who's we? Would it be you and Summer? You and who? Who's we? We weren't 30 feet. They weren't 30 feet. A lot of neighbors heard us screaming Summer. Nobody was here but me. I wasn't here. CM asked Don to tell him about the shed, and Don got extremely angry. Yeah. Well, let me see if I can find it. You know, I've always said Don is sneaky. I believe Don is extremely sneaky. We know that he, did the panty thing. You have to physically get in your car and drive somewhere and pick out someone that you can steal their panties from, which to me is like that's what, how like serial killers and stuff, how they graduate, you know what I mean? And serial R people. I'm not saying, Don has admitted to his sisters and stuff like that. But like you went and sold someone's panties so you could pleasure yourself. That's strange. Especially someone you don't even know who the person is. You know what I mean? It's like it's even stranger. And is there a graduation? I don't know. But it's strange. Right. Remember CM pointed out DW's 8 up legs. He said, what about Candace? Step in Don's. JC put herself. He is very deviant. But you see, there is different versions of Dawn. Different versions of Dawn. And, Chris talks about the public self, the private self, and the secret self. And every single one of us has that. It's just different extremes of how that goes. Now, like for instance, when we, first heard about Don and all that, he and he still does, he portrays himself as this Christian, Sabbath keeping, uh, keep the commandments, I'll see you in the resurrection, all of that. But then we have messages where you ask Candace, who is Don? And she's like, Don doesn't, if you knew the Don that I know, he's not a church going person. And which I've got it here on recording too. I've asked Jose, I'm like, did Don ever go to church when and he's like, what? In the recording, I've listened to it. What do you mean Don go to church? Why would Don going to church? Yeah, prison religion. So he portrays himself differently, to his audience, I guess, that he's in front of, right? So, whenever he, talks to some other creator, it's, y'all, Don's grieving himself to death, y'all, we study the Bible together, and he says, I'll see her in the resurrection. He's playing to his audience, is what it is. I thought Dodd went to church to do community service. Shouldn't laugh about that. But then you have the Don coming on and calling people the N word and calling women every name in the book, right? And talking about his daughter, saying, she took it like a champ. She's she didn't go whining and crying, and she got R'd multiple times to his daughter. So there is different Dons. Benny found panties in Don's car that was not Candace's a year and a half ago. He's a chameleon. Yes. Lies, lies, lies. No wonder this case is taking. There's a lot of layers to unpack, right? So look at this. This is Ben Hill Road right here. And believe it or not, it gets more narrow as you go on down. Believe it or not. If you've never been on Ben Hill Road, you don't know. But if you've been on there, you know what I'm talking about. It is one lane and it gets more narrow as it goes back. This is the road that they live on, right? It's tucked away. This is all their property right through here. This is Beach Creek, right? This is also their property. Now this is old, an old photo, but this is generally still what it looks like, minus the flagpoles, the rebel flagpoles, and the camper and all this. It's just the building now. No dog kennel that I recall. But Don would have been coming on Beach Creek right here, right? This is all their property, right? Their house is right up here, right up here. Nobody, you can't see it. You can't see it. Why is Don? Why is he pulling down here? Why is he pulling down here? You can't see the house up there. He's pulling down here to get his, because in my opinion, you can't see anything that's going on top of the hill. This is a very private, building, and it makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense at all. That he would do something like that. I wish Google Earth was on Ben Hill Road, but it's not as of yet. Now, how long am I got? Okay. I want to show y'all a TBI meeting. It's just a couple minutes long. It is low. I want to warn you, it is low. This is a budget meeting. Turn up your volume. Hey, Brandy, my love. Hope you're okay. I just sneezed about 7 times. What did I miss? Oh, my goodness. Bless you. This is low. I want to tell you guys, so make sure it's up as loud as you can have it. But they mentioned Summer about their drones, that they just used them, and they tell a little bit about what happened or what these drones do.
They do, as well as they have the capability as well to recognize specific colors.
Drone?
Yeah,
And how many
absolutely.
drones do you have? How are they maintained? Something that has to be purchased again on a regular basis, and that'll line item in your budget.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman. Yes, we do have drones. We use them for a variety of things. We just actually had them up this week over in East Tennessee, assisting us in searching for Summer Wells, the missing child that's been missing for a while over there in
So this was, I think they was using these in February of 2022, and he's going to tell you the capabilities of these drones.
the mountain. Um, the technology on them is amazing. We just purchased these new drones.
You have thermal imaging on them as well?
They do, as well as they have the capability as well to recognize specific colors. If we, when you can put you can enter the information that you're looking for, and they'll recognize it. And so we knew what color clothing the child was wearing, and so we put that in. And so it's the technology is there and does a great job. So that's one use of it. We also have used them for our fire investigative unit. So they'll send them up to map a fire scene, which will help them to kind of see, again, looking at the heat signatures of fire will help them determine where they need to go to see where the origination of a fire is, and to determine if it was intentionally set through the rest of their investigative tactics. But that's a game changer for us to be able to have something from the sky, map that scene, find that heat source, and be able to help them go directly to where they need to be to start their investigative effort. And so that's a utilization of it. We have utilized it for searching for missing persons. We've utilized it for searching for, or we have them available to search for fugitives as well. If it's an area where we can't get our plane up to be able to do so, we can use them for that. And so there are a number of investigative uses. We have a very clear policy on how they can be used, so that there is no inappropriate use of that technology.
And
Yes.
that's one thing I was going to ask you quickly uh, about images that you may capture that weren't part of the mission that you were sending up for. What happens those? What can you do with those images? And what do you do with the footage when you get through with a fire scene or a crime scene? What happens to the footage?
Yeah. So the footage that we capture during the investigative process on the crime scenes, and the fire scenes, that footage is maintained and stored in our evidence database, so that we're able to obviously pull it up if we need it. If it's not, if we determine that it's not evidentiary, then it is disposed of.
Okay.
It's removed from the system.
Okay. All right. All right. Any further questions?
So I wanted to show you guys that they talked about it in their budget in March of 2022 when they went there in February. They can. Thank you so much, LA Connection. That's very kind of you, my dear. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support tremendously. Means a lot. They can enter the colors of clothing that she was wearing, and just the technology is amazing, absolutely amazing, and it has heat signatures, all of that. They've really done a lot. They really have. I don't think Summer is in the areas that they have searched. I do believe she is around there. I think she's close, but not too close. And I thought that was interesting, and I could share that with you guys as well. So there's that. Sorry, let me see if there's anything else that I want to show you guys tonight. I think I'll save the rest for tomorrow. Yes, EquiSearch has amazing technologies. I wholeheartedly think Hawkins County TBI should allow, you have nothing to lose. It's free. It doesn't cost them a dime. They are 1,000% proven over and over and over again. They have a superb reputation. They have nothing to lose, and they should allow EquiSearch to come there. What are they going to lose? They're not going to lose a dime. They have a great credibility. So, it's just my opinion. So, anywho, law enforcement won't even get a warrant. Fairy Tale has interesting information. Wood Fairy. Okay. Wood Fairy. Uh, did Wood Fairy recently put it in here, or much love, Brandy? God bless you, my dear. It's good seeing you. If Wood Fairy wants to put it back in, law enforcement experts have said even with today's tech they use, they still absolutely. Could someone tell me what Wood Fairies was? Does anyone got Woodbury? You tagged me. I don't even know how to check my tags, I don't think. Maybe I do. I rarely check them. Let me check. Woodbury. Do you have a channel, Woodbury? Can you just tell me? Dudley said Don Wells washed and painted the underside of his white truck a few days before Summer Wells was reported missing. Mm. That's interesting. Don knows more, in my opinion. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Said the neighbor said they saw the kids down in the road all the time and told them to go home. Candace was not a helicopter mom. Trust. You text me. Thank you. I see you. Let me read it. A neighbor has come forward to claim Summer Wells was always down the road. Dawn drives like crazy. Also, Sherfy stated the kids were always in the room. Yeah. I believe they know. I do believe it. With their, listen, if you're innocent, in my opinion, you're going to cooperate with investigators. You're not going to act like this. Oh, it absolutely was part of the script. Oh, that's all she does is lie about the Wells. That's all. That's what they got to do. She's got to play defense. She has to. Y'all, Don's about to grieve himself to death. Well, you know what? How about you help on your daughter? Imagine Peace FBI will not stop until they are the best of the best. Thank you for your hard work, Justin. Thank you so much, Imagine Peace. That's very sweet of you. It's very kind of you. Let me see if Smiley messaged me back. Let me check. No. I messaged her last night and she has not messaged me back, which is weird. The article that you were reading says the three of them drove across town. Shouldn't it be four of them? Oh, interesting. See, this is how we all work better together. Let me see here. Let me look at that. Hold on, I'll show this. I just went to pick them up, and then we drove. I just went to pick her up, and then we drove all the way across town, drop off her picture. Where does it? Am I looking at the wrong spot? I went to pick her up, and then we drove all the way across town and dropped the prescription off. Or do you mean say what? Yeah, Smiley. She's gets emotional, and I hope she feels better. Down further. Okay. Let's see here. Next, the three drove across town, picked up the prescription, and stopped briefly at Priceless. Huh. Candace then dropped the boy off at the friend's house. How about that? Good catch. Good catch. Good catch. I agree. She will protect Dawn because that's all she has. It also says the three of them went for a swim. I don't see that. It says the three swam in the cove. Oh. Y'all are good at this. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. It's very kind of you. Um, I agree, lovable Mama Bear. The milk jug question seemed like it caught him off guard. Uh-huh. I tell you, listen, a kid does not disappear in the middle of in the country, on a dead end road, on top of a hill that you can't see a home in 2 to 5 minutes. And she says more like 2 to 3, actually. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Teresa, did they go to court today? I'm telling you what, I don't know. I don't know. And I know there was one creator that put out that they went to court and stuff. We thought that they had court yesterday, but I don't think they did. I don't think they did. And I wasn't ready to put any information out if I couldn't verify it. You know, Paula, he said that the roof incident happened on the 14th. Yes. Personally, Don is my number one suspect. Don is my number one. I think he's got more to lose. I think he's more devious. I think he's more criminal. He's got a history, but Candace is just neglectful. You know what I mean? Like Candace just doesn't care. She just doesn't care. So let me check. What is the day? October. Oh no, hold on. That's today. It's updated. June 13th, 2022 and July 20th, 2023. The Rogersville review, is it down here anywhere? Oh, maybe it's this one. I'll show you this.
Like I was like a drone or something. It was kind of odd, but she was just running in the field with that Johnson grass. It was a beautiful summer day, and she was just running and laughing like she did, just big smile on her face like she always does. And it's just like I kind of flew by her and then flew up into the air, and I was looking back, kind of looking down on her a little ways from a distance, like I was like a drone or something. It was kind of odd, but yeah, in that sense, but it was beautiful. She got a beautiful smile with hers, running, and it brings tears. I was thinking about it. Do you have any idea what that meant, or do you think it meant anything? No, I have no idea. I'm willing to share it with everybody. Like I said, well, I guess, but the reason that I called you mainly was with her birthday coming up. So you all had a celebration in North Carolina in private, where I guess where she couldn't be harassed. Yes, sir. And Robin's free to share that if she wants to. I mean, that's up to her because she's the one who done it all. I personally didn't go because I had to work, and I just was so afraid that there was going to be a bunch of YouTubers there. So I don't know. I didn't want to go. It's my daughter's birthday, unless she ain't there, it was just kind of conflicting in my mind. So me and Candace, we didn't. Neither one of us went. But I thought more of like if there might be like a prayer vigil or an observation schedule. Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know what. I mean, to me, I would just rather celebrate it in church personally. Anywhere in the church that she loves. Kind of a private thing. Family. Okay.
This was the first interview, maybe. Let me see if I can find it. Look at how many. Damn thing. Look how many people was there searching for Summer. They were busing them in.
I'll be in the command post, so there'll be a radio where I am anyway. So I did. Alpha 101. when we did that the other day. We took everything, put that in the supposed to have. And that's been what, a week ago?
So are these guys going someplace? They're going to search?
Yeah, they are.
Just want to confirm that. I just wanted to confirm that.
So this is June 16th, 2021, the day after summer.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Leslie Earhart, a public information officer with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Thank you for being here and continuing to cover the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells. Unfortunately, we don't have any significant updates to provide as Summer is still missing. But we did want to share the latest on the investigation and the ongoing search. As you know, she's now the subject of a statewide Amber Alert. She was last seen outside of her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road, which is located in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County. A family member reported her missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at approximately 6:30 Tuesday evening. At the time she went missing, Summer was reportedly wearing a gray pants and a pink shirt. She is believed to be barefoot. We do want to encourage the public, especially residents living in the area of Ben Hill Road, to check any trail cameras or security cameras that they might have that could have captured Summer on video or in photographs. We also encourage residents to check any crawl spaces, outbuildings, or sheds that would make for good hiding places. As we mentioned, the search is ongoing. There are a number of agencies involved. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson.
I think in the beginning they thought that she wandered off, but I think they should have considered it a crime scene. They should have considered it a crime scene.
I'm not going to talk to anybody, buddy. It's just
This is one of the first interviews Don did.
everything's so blown out of proportion in every way. I'm not gonna. I just can't do it. Okay. I'm sorry. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I respect you. You know the job you got to do, and I know you're up against the law. I know you're just trying to do, whatever. It's just I cannot say a word. It's just everything's so blown out of proportion. It's just unbelievable.
I just want to say that I have the greatest subscribers ever. Y'all really do hit that thumbs up, and I really do appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. Uh-oh, what'd I do? Here we go.
I haven't even been keeping up with what I don't even, did something happen? I don't even know what happened.
No, nothing's happened. I'm gonna get the $5 nacho fries box. I don't need the fries. Just give me some sweet things to go with it or something. Sure, that'll work. Yeah. And a Pepsi. That's it. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Don is in a drive-through getting food. And someone put last seen outside. Yes, in the very beginning, the report said they seen Summer outside. There are stories that Candace saw her outside and then she went inside. And the boys say the last time that we know of, or have heard at least, allegedly, is that she was last outside playing on her swing. If Summer was outside and Candace went inside and she came back out and she was gone, that makes more sense. It's still highly unlikely that anyone would come up there and get her. She's more likely to wander off in that situation. But Candace said, Summer went inside, she went downstairs, and someone grabbed her, inside the house or whatever. That is even just like not even Not even possible. See, I don't know if. See, I don't even know if it was law enforcement. I think that it may have been the parents in the first days, and then they've just kind of switched their stories. Could be law enforcement. I don't know.
It sounds like I caught you at lunch, early lunch or late breakfast. Yeah, but yeah, I'm just Can I just ask you if you can confirm or deny a couple of things that like a county commissioner called me and said that the boys had been removed by DHS. Hold on, sorry. Is that true? Well, right now they're not in. It's not safe at my house. Let's put it that way. There's too much going on, and people are crazier than hell. And right now, it's just not safe at my house. There's too much going on. Too many crazy people coming around trying to start stuff and everything like that. Are you talking about like people, like amateur?
Now, remember, Don told us that it was crazy at their house, and he thought it was best if they go with CPS. Now he's claiming that they kidnapped, which is not true. Someone asked about the polygraphs. We are going to do a special live on the polygraphs. There's a lot to that. Lisa, they do need to be questioned again. However, constitutional rights, they don't have to answer questions. I wish they would. I think it would make them look better.
Your crime hunters and things like that? Yeah, there's psychos that walk up to my house in the middle of the night, and there's just been all kind of stuff going on. It's just not safe, at my house. Are the boys, are they in with family, or are they in state custody? Yeah, I can't answer any questions, buddy. I'm not going to go there. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I know this is a really bad time. Well, I respect you and the job you have to do, and I feel good, and I wish I could help you, but I can't. Okay. I just can't answer any questions. Okay. All right. People blow this more proportion. They think my wife, it's just crazy. It's just absolutely insane, and it's not safe for my kids. Well, I'm not talking about the crime or the missing child, but what's going on at your house? I mean, who's coming around your house? All sorts of people. Juanita, the one that thinks she's a psychic, and she has some kind of special gift and all this crazy stuff. And we don't need her crazy ass stuff at our house. She claims to be a Christian, and then she claims to be a psychic, both on the same thing. How does that work? That don't work. If you're a Christian, you don't. God says you don't go there. Period. Against God. Mm-hmm. So how can she claim to be a Christian and a psychic all in the same thing? That don't make no sense. Oh yeah, that's the first I've heard of that too.
Now, remember, Don said yesterday, if he was at my live yesterday, he said that they went because of his dreams. One of like two things happened because of the dreams that he had. Either they went, Summer's in a very well-to-do place, or she's no longer with us.
I know there's been psychics on TV or on
He's bashing
YouTube and stuff,
psychics.
but I didn't realize they're actually coming to your house. Oh yeah. That's crazy, dude. What about anybody else coming up there to bother you? We got a few people coming at night and stuff. In the middle of the night, I had one. I don't think he'll be coming back to our house anymore, though. Oh no, what happened? Well, like I said, I can't speculate. Okay. Well, I'm sorry that all this is happening. I really am.
Thank you, Vanessa. Justin, who had Summer from 9/1 on the 15th? 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.? Is that what you mean, Vanessa? Is that what you mean? Thank you, Vanessa, by the way. I just want to know what you're talking about. 9, you mean like 9 to 1? 9 a.m. to 1? H said they picked Summer up. After that, they got Grandma at 1? Are you sure? Now, rethinking on that, I wonder if H meant like it was just us until we picked up the grandma, meaning Summer was with us, but until we picked up the grandma. Someone said that in my comments, and I was like, maybe that kind of makes sense. Thank you, Michelle. Very kind of you. Doll heads hanging. The doll heads were creepy. I thought they dropped H off at 2. They did. Here, I'll show you the timeline. Which I need to update some stuff here. So at 12:21, they are doing the TikTok video, right? Between 12:21 and 2 o'clock, that's when they drop off Hunter, 2 to 2:30. So I would say that they leave the watering hole about 12:45, 12:50. And then they go to the hippie house. And then they go to Sonic. Sorry, they go to the hippie house, then Walgreens, and then Sonic. And then they go to Priceless. What I am more interested in is Candace says that they are there by 8 o'clock. Her words. In Chris's, what time was the milk jug photo taken? That was taken at 3:09. 3:09. Candace said they were 5 minutes away from home. So that would be 3:14. They would arrive home. Now remember, Dawn is alleged to be home at 3 o'clock. Alleged. If Candace arrives at 3:14, 16 minutes after that, all phones are deleted. All phones. Your last photo was at 3:09. And then 16 minutes later, there's supposed to be nothing on your phone. However, I've got a live coming up about something Don said about his phones. That I caught him in. And I'll tell you guys about it soon. Summer laying by the milks looks like a jacket. I've heard that stain. Yeah, I don't know. Who wakes up their kid to go to the ER for a non-emergency? Mm-hmm. Hey, little Dev. For not a full-time one, Justin. For not a full-time one, Justin has it solid. Thank you so much. Sonic employee said Summer was on camera. Yes, Summer was fine according to, from what I understand from the Sonic employee. If the phones were deleted, how do they see the video of Summer in the truck? Because it was at 3:09. Don says anything from 3:30 after was deleted. Pamela, yes. I've heard that a tree trimmer saw Candace putting her in a truck. I may do a live on that one of these days. The ER trip had been planned the night before. I feel that it was. Is Sonic employee a friend of Candace? No, she's not a friend of Candace. They did go to the tobacco store, yes. The tobacco store and the hippie house. But the tobacco store was before they went to the swimming hole. Candace was admitted to having a second phone with age TikToks. Was there a reason for Dawn's reason for phone deletion? I believe, not one phone was deleted at 3:30. Not two phones was deleted at 3:30. 3 adult phones. We're going to talk about in upcoming labs, why did Candace lay that phone down and get Grandis's phone as well? We're going to talk about that as well. I think Judy Sue hung up the dollheads were just creepy. I don't know who did it, but they were just creepy. Grandis sounds like she's reading it. Oh, it's a script, definitely, in my opinion. All the phones were deleted, and for what? Dawn. Yes. Mm-hmm. And you see, why weren't they deleted from 9 in the morning till noon, right? Why were it's not a coincidence that 3 phones were deleted the same time. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. The last picture of your daughter, the very last picture / video, that seems scripted anyways. 16 minutes after that photo / video, that's when the phones go deleted. I have started believing that the swimming hole video the swimming hole video, it was the 15th because she showed it on Unmasked. She showed it on Unmasked. I think it was Unmasked. Look at the list of phones taken. There was probably more than that. Oh, absolutely. Grandis, not Grandis, what I was going to say. Oh, Candace said she had another phone that she needed to in Chris's interview that she needs to take over next time she's in town. It's craziness. It's craziness. So, yeah. People who have nothing to hide, hide nothing. Just remember that there are really no coincidences in crime. It's very, very, very rare. I am tired. I wasn't planning on going live, but I wanted to do it for on for summer and all that. So, all right, guys, I love you all. I appreciate you tremendously. God bless each and every one of you. Ziggy will probably be going live soon. So, yeah, go join Ziggy or someone. I appreciate you all. It's a lot, Rhonda. You got to sort through a lot of misinformation. Yeah. All right. Good night, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing. I'm off tomorrow. All right. Love you guys. Good night.